What's up, you guys? Forrest here with the FoCo Flow Show. If you're new to the channel, we are a mountain biking YouTube channel based in Charlottesville, Virginia, focused on the awesome trails that you and we all get to ride here in Virginia, in Maryland, West Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina. We also do bike review videos and, of course, gear review videos. So we really hope you're enjoying the content, because on this week's video, we got something a little bit different. We are buying a bike part, the KS Exaform dropper post from AliExpress. I'd never ordered anything from AliExpress, but we are going to get it in. We're going to put it on the fat bike and see how it does. So without further ado, let's get out there and find that flow. So the idea of this video came from my buddy FoCo, the other Forrest that we feature on the channel a lot. FoCo? Oh, too much flow! Do not fall down that mountain. Has actually outfitted and built up a few of his bikes, buying parts and some other things from AliExpress, and then ordering in, putting them on. He just built up a downcountry bike that's similar to the Rebel Ranger and used a lot of parts from AliExpress. So I've got the fat bike. Most of you know I've got the Rebel Ranger and the Ibis Ritmo V2, but I've also got a fat bike that we've recently outfitted with the through axle from Robert Axle Project, so that I can pull Noel in the bike trailer, but I also want to get it on the trail a little bit more. Especially when it snows, we get it out in the snow, we go to the beach, we ride it, but it can be a trail-worthy fat bike as well, with the Bluto fork and everything in between, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. And if you're like me, you know how expensive mountain biking and mountain bike parts are, and they're not getting any cheaper, but you're also looking for ways to save money where you can. So for the fat bike, I was willing to take a risk, and using the advice from Forrest, got onto the AliExpress app and started searching through. Basically, it's made in China, based in China, Amazon. And you can find what you need, some name brand stuff and some stuff that you've probably never heard of before. But if you have been mountain biking for any amount of time, you're familiar with KS and their multiple options for dropper posts. Frankly, I haven't had a great experience with KS in the past. I had a KS dropper on my Cannondale trigger from years ago that failed in less than a year. And I also had a KS dropper post on the original Ritmo I had that failed in less than 6 months. And their customer support was not great, it was slow, and they didn't even honor a 6-month-old dropper post. And I had to come out of pocket to replace it. Not great. But this was a brand I had heard of, and it was $100, or just about $100 for a brand new dropper post. So I went for it, I ordered it, and about 3 weeks later, it landed up in my driveway just before Christmas, so I was able to take it with me and the fat bike and get it all set up and try to get installed. I'm happy to report that everything installation-wise went smooth and easy. It's like every other dropper post. If you've ever installed one, you've installed about 90% of them. Yeah, it came with cable housing and a cable. It came with a lefty dropper lever. The lever it left a little bit to be desired. It wasn't particularly sturdy, but honestly, that can be replaced pretty quickly and easily. I really like the wolf tooth lever and the loam lever from 1UP or BMW, I always forget. Those are easy to replace. This one was fine. It did the job. And then all you do is run the cable and the housing up through the bottom, seat the cable knob into the teeth, pull it in, and then slowly feed the dropper post down. And from there, you just pull the cable tight, and you should be good to go. From there, everything was really, really good and worked very, very easily. The only concern was the cable housing that they sent was not really long enough. It was just barely long enough for my size extra large fat bike. So I'll probably have to replace the cable housing at some point if I do a lot of riding on the bike on trail, because it could limit the turning left and right all the way. But overall, that's a minor complaint for $100 and a brand new dropper post. So on the trail, I'm happy to report the initial action on the dropper post is smooth and it's fast. It's got that satisfying clack at the top of the extension that you might be familiar with the transfer dropper post from Fox or the Bike Yoke Revive, two of my favorite dropper posts that you can really tell when the bike has gotten all the way up to the top of the travel. It's really smooth and it's really easy, and giving you the ability to descend a little bit more confidently, especially on the fat bike, which isn't a great descender, of course, but having a dropper post allowing you to get your butt back and move your body weight around goes a long way to making descending easier. This one was responsive. It's not the smoothest I've ever had. It wasn't the fastest, but it was smooth and fast compared to some other ones out there that I've had that I haven't liked nearly as much. Even the Highline dropper that I've got on the Rebel Ranger from Crank Brothers is clunky and not smooth. Honestly, I like the KS $100 dropper, the feel to it, better than the Crank Brothers. And so that's really important to keep into consideration if you're only spending $100. And from there, we just need to keep an eye on it and get a feel for the long-term durability. That's the one thing that I can't speak to today because I've only had it for a couple of months and I've only ridden it a few times. So far, it feels great. My knock on KS is that long-term durability has not been good, but if I get a full year out of this, I'll be happy and can order another one. Shoot, you might even consider ordering 2 for $200, and then you've got a backup if it does fail. You can make the argument that that's not worth the pain. Spend $200 and get a really good P&W dropper or a 1-up dropper. I've had both. They're both very, very good. I've also had issues with both. So none of them are perfect. The only one so far, knock on wood, that's been perfect is the Bike Yoke Revive. That's a $400 dropper post. It's really good, really, really efficient. You can revive it with that valve. I love it, but you got to be willing to spend $400 on a dropper post. But my initial impressions of AliExpress are pretty positive. You just got to know you're going to wait 3 to 4 weeks, and just know there's a lot of variability on that site. I've actually ordered a handful of other components for the fat bike. I figure, hey, I've got some parts in the part bin, so I put carbon bars on it that I had, put new platform pedals, going to put some more sealant in the tires, and I actually ordered a new 12-speed cassette that has compatibility with an XD SRAM free hub body, as well as a 12-speed derailleur and shifter. I don't have any experience with the brands. They're like LT Woo and Sunshine. That's the risk that you take with AliExpress. So I'll have more feedback coming up here in the next couple of months, and I'll make sure that we report back. But we're going to have the fat bike set up with 12 speeds, as well as the dropper and carbon bar. It's going to be a trail machine before we're all said and done with it. So that's where you guys come in. If you have any experience of your own ordering from AliExpress, what parts have you ordered? What brands do you like? What brands do you not like and we should stay away from? Make sure that you comment below when you like this video so that we all have a better understanding of what parts are really good, what brands are really good for AliExpress and which ones maybe aren't. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, we got outside of the norm for a change and tried something different so maybe you don't have to. AliExpress, so far so good. We got more parts coming, and hopefully we can finally save a little bit money with our mountain bike hobby, and then we can get out there a little bit more frequently and find that flow.